Yeah. 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 So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit of conflict or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Everyone, it is Pam Esquire, also known as your law intellect. Today is Friday, October 20th of 2023. We were just here on Wednesday, October 18th of 2023. And on that same day, we discussed the arrest of Cesar Pina, who is formerly known as the business partner of DJ Envy, who is one of the hosts on The Breakfast Club. Now, since that time, I have been perusing these YouTube streets, perusing the court documents, and I have some information for you as it pertains to some other activity in the courts that was going on at the same time that Caesar was being arrested. And I think it's very interesting. However, it seems when I cover these New York, New Jersey type cases, a lot of them have the same kind of MO. So I know exactly like what to look for. But that's what we're going to be discussing today. So you guys make sure you hit that like button as you come in. Subscribe if you have not done so already. If you are new over here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. We are self-proclaimed social media jurors. So we go over all the cases, we analyze them, we critique them, and we try to be as unbiased as possible and look at all the evidence on both sides. So we're not going to do any different as it comes to this case. But what I must admit is that this case is wild. There is so much going on with this case that it can be content for days and days and days. So, what I'm going to try to do, because I just started following this, Tony the Closer has been following this for a while. This is new for me. So, a lot of people have way more information than what than what I have. I'm starting from scratch, but I'm pretty sure that I'll probably give you some information that you have not heard before since I have done my own research since we started following this. Hey to everyone as you come in. Alice, little baby, Kathy. Hey, Thais, Carla, Naj Singh. I know I typically come on a little later, but I figured before something else happens, because I really was going to go on later today and talk about another aspect of this case. But when I ran across this, I figured, hey, we need to get into it. So if you guys read my caption, Cesar Pina, who is supposed to be the real estate guru, who allegedly duped various individuals out of money, claiming that if they invested literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, they will have these ridiculous returns between like 20 and 30%. We went over that in the indictment. Definitely too good to be true. Also, it looks like his wife was somewhat a part of a lot of this stuff too, where she was on a lot of pictures. She's been sued as well by some of these unassuming investors who felt like that they were defrauded. And so she is a part of a lot of this stuff that I saw. Well, her name is on a lot of this information that I saw. So just to let you guys know, on October 18th, while we were over here discussing the arrest of Pina, he had his attorney at that time file his own lawsuit, basically alleging that he too is a victim. You guys see it right here on the document. On October 18th of 2023, while we were over here discussing his arrest, his lawyer was over at those New Jersey courts and saying that he is also a victim who has been defrauded. Yep, him and his wife. And we're going to go over that in 2 seconds. As you guys come in, make sure you hit the like button. Again, subscribe if you have not done so already. And we're going to get into it like we always do. So, when you look at this document, Thais said, I knew that wife was crafty. And you're going to see in a few minutes. So, who got the money then? Let's get into it, guys. So, it has Cesar Pina and Jennifer Pina, Warehouse LLC, and then it has all of these different properties. 383 to 395 Tottawa Avenue, LLC. 91 to 103 Sherman Avenue, LLC. 95 Market Street, LLC. Taylor Court Apartments, LLC. BLK 3009 Lot 11. The Boza Group. 267 6th Avenue, LLC. 189-191 Park Avenue, LLC. BLK 6109 Lot 20, 83-85 Madison Street Avenue. So it looks like what he did was all of these properties, or the majority of these properties, he put them in LLCs. And that's what it is. So who they're suing is Pride Funding LLC, John Doe individuals. Basically, they don't know the names of who else they feel like is involved in this. And 1 through 10. So they're believing there's a bunch of other individuals, I guess, that are involved in this situation here. And this was filed. We just went over all of the different entities. So that's what the parties and the loans. So the first count they are alleging is consumer fraud against all defendants. Plaintiffs, the loans and associated documents and agreements provided to the plaintiff by the defendants constitute merchandise within the ambit of the New Jersey Consumer Fraud Act. Then it has the numbers for the act. Plaintiffs are persons protected by the New Jersey Consumer Fraud Act. The defendants did not use or employ, so this is what they're alleging. This defendant, who is Pride Funding LLC and the John Does, they are alleging that the defendants did not use or employ the defendants did use or employ unconscionable commercial practices, deception, fraud, false pretenses, false promises, misrepresentations, and knowingly concealed, suppressed, or omitted material facts with the intent that plaintiffs will rely upon same in connection with the negotiation, performance, and collection of the subject loans. Defendants have otherwise violated the Consumer Fraud Act. The violations include, but are not limited to, providing predatory loans without properly checking the financial ability of the borrowers to make the payment. So basically, you gave us loans and you didn't even know if we even had the capacity to pay for these loans. Failing to provide loan information upon multiple requests, providing false payoffs, refusing to provide proper payoffs upon further requests, causing plaintiffs to be unable to close transactions, causing delay, which increased and continues to improperly increase alleged amount owed, charging interest and other charges on amounts not dispersed, charging improper and illegal interest, default interest, costs and fees and penalties, charging default interest and penalties when loans were not in default, not properly crediting payments. This sounds like they're just throwing anything up against the wall and trying to see what sticks. That's what it looks like to me because this list is crazy. Using illegal tactics to refuse to provide information, overcharge and delay, and to make it impossible for loans to be paid. Making illegal, unenforceable, predatory, and improper amendments, post loan agreements, and forbearance agreements. Misrepresenting amounts owed to third parties. Dissemination of private information to third parties, taking deeds prior to foreclosure and unconscionably clouding title so that properties cannot be sold, misrepresenting to the court the amounts owed and seeking those amounts in court, violating lender laws, violating Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. To the extent John Doe's 1 through 10 were personally involved in such improper acts and omissions, they are personally liable. As a proximate result, plaintiff has and continues to suffer damages and ascertainable loss. Wherefore, plaintiffs demand judgment against the defendants joint and severally for damages, compensatory damages, consequential damages, treble damages. They're asking for a lot. They are asking treble damages is 3 times the amount of the award as provided by New Jersey Consumer Fraud, cost of the suit, expenses, attorney's fees, and such other relief as the court may deem just and equitable. Plaintiffs also seek rescission of all agreements between the parties. They want to make it like the contracts never existed. And determining that the contracts are unenforceable by the defendants, either in whole or in part, as is appropriate. Plaintiffs seek equitable relief, barring foreclosure or further clouding of title by the defendants until this matter is resolved, and an order vacating any final judgments in foreclosure and vacating any deeds to defendants relating to this matter, an immediate and completely itemized accounting of all of the the payments, charges, applications of payments, and actions as such, each of the subject loans from the beginning until the present. You guys make sure you hit this like button on your way in. You guys ready for count 2? Put 2 in the chat. Count 2 is fraud and fraudulent misrepresentation against all parties. The plaintiffs incorporate the prior allegations herein. Defendants knowingly committed fraud and have wrongfully made fraudulent misrepresentations as set forth above. All of the items in count 1. Plaintiffs reasonably relied upon the fraudulent acts, omissions, and misrepresentations of the defendant to their detriment. As a result of the wrongful acts described above, plaintiffs have suffered and continue to suffer damages. The wherefore is the same. What they're asking for is the exact same thing they were asking for in count 1, so we don't have to repeat that. Let's get on to count 3. Count 3. Negligent misrepresentation, gross negligence, and negligence against all defendants. Defendant wrongfully made misrepresentations, withheld information, took action, withheld action, and operated the business negligently and purposefully as set forth above. As a result of the wrongful acts described above, plaintiffs have suffered and continue to suffer damages. So then they asked for the same laundry list of damages. Count 4, unjust enrichment and quantum merit against all defendants. So this is an equitable remedy when you don't can't necessarily give an exact amount or an actual amount. Oftentimes you ask for your damages in equity. Plaintiff incorporates all prior allegations as is set forth herein at length. Defendants have been unjustly enriched as a direct result of the wrongful act set forth of the facts. So basically, what they're saying is this: they are saying that because these defendants have been allowed to do all of these allegations, including fraud, misrepresentation, and that whole laundry list that I just told you about in count 1, they've benefited financially from it. So that's unjust enrichment. You don't deserve it, but you're getting this, and you're getting this benefit. So now you've been unjustly enriched, and we feel like we are damaged because of it, and that they continue to suffer damage. So again, as a prayer for relief, it has wherefore plaintiffs demand judgments against the defendants jointly and severally for damages, compensatory damages, consequential damages, punitive damages, those are for punishment purposes, cost of the suit, he wants the cost that he has to put into this lawsuit, attorney fees, he wants them to pay for his attorney fees, and such other relief as the court may deem just and equitable. Plaintiff also seeks rescission of all agreements between the parties and an order determining that the contracts are unenforceable by the defendants, either in whole or in part, as is appropriate. Plaintiff seeks equitable relief barring foreclosure or further clouding of the title by the defendants until this matter is resolved, and an order vacating any final judgments in foreclosure and vacating any deeds to defendants related to this matter. An immediate and completely itemized accounting of all the payments, charges, applications of payments, and actions as each of the subject loans from the beginning until the present. Excuse me. There's another count. Count 5. You guys keeping up? Count 5. We're on count 5. Count 5. Breach of contract and implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing against all defendants. Plaintiff incorporates all prior allegations as if set forth herein at length. The parties negotiated and entered into contracts as described herein. The actions and inactions described herein constitute willful breaches of the clear terms of those agreement and understandings. The actions and inactions described herein also constitute willful breaches of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing. Wow. Good faith and fair dealing, huh, Caesar? And then the wherefore is the same. And then they just do, jury demands and all of that. So, yes, folks, as we were going over that indictment, Cesar Pina filed a lawsuit basically saying, I have been defrauded by these loan companies. I have been misrepresented. I've suffered from misrepresentation. There has been a breach of contract against me. I deserve relief and equity. There has been a negligent misrepresentation against me as well. And here is the laundry list again of all of the things that he is alleging occurred. If you just got in here, this is a lawsuit that was filed on October 18, 2023. While Cesar was being arrested, there was also a lawsuit filed. And it has Cesar Pina, Jennifer Pina, Warehouse LLC, and then it has an entire list of a variety of properties, I assume, that were in the name of an LLC, but that's how they structured it. Cupcake said, I know he lying. Keita said he's trying it. He is. And the bad part is, I was actually, because of some, if you're new over here, I cover a lot of cases. And this actually is not the first time I've seen lawsuits filed after indictments, during indictments, when indictments are about to happen. He didn't actually have an indictment as of yet. I wouldn't be shocked if one didn't come down. Caesar's is actually a criminal complaint. An indictment goes before the grand jury, but it wouldn't shock me. But then it doesn't end there, people. So then on this morning, apparently, so you guys seen who all of the people, it was very methodical for me to tell you all of the people in the caption, the plaintiffs: Cesar Pina, Jennifer Pina, Warehouse LLC, and then it has all these different other groups. Well, apparently on this morning, let me get to that. The attorney filed an order because before he added a couple of those individuals on there, he must have forgotten that there was a bankruptcy filed. So it is hereby stipulated that all claims made by the two following plaintiffs, Warehouse LLC and Taylor Court Apartments LLC, BLK 3009 Lot 11, are hereby dismissed in its entirety without prejudice, as these two entities are in bankruptcy and subject to stay. So two of these entities are already in bankruptcy. And therefore, when you file a bankruptcy, for those of you that don't know, that's why a lot of people file bankruptcy, is because it stays all judgments. If you have been following this case, you know that Caesar, DJ, MV, and a few of them, and his wife, Jennifer, they have all had several lawsuits that were filed against them. As a result, it looks like, and I don't know if the alleged victims, again, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, or even in the civil lawsuit until they're found liable from a civil aspect. But there were bankruptcies filed. So I don't know how much money it is for for it to go around. So let's look at one of the and the bankruptcies were filed by Jennifer Pina. She filed a bankruptcy on that. This entity was actually mentioned in the indictment, this Warehouse Real Estate Investments. So most of these lawsuits started coming down in the summer. It looks like between July, August, a lot of these civil lawsuits started coming down. A bankruptcy was filed in New Jersey on August 4th of 2023 for Warehouse Real Estate Investments. Apparently, there are 3 properties that are in the one LLC for that specific LLC. So they filed a Chapter 11. And what they are, and as you see, it has Jennifer as the owner, and also checks about a bankruptcy as well, but we'll get into that in a minute. When you look down here at the estimated number of creditors is between 1 to 49. The estimated assets is between $1 million and $1 and $10 million. The estimated liabilities is $1 million and $1 to $10 million. So basically, the assets, according to her, match up with the liabilities. And a Colony American Finance was, I guess, the main people as to why this specific bankruptcy was filed. It sounds like as people were trying to foreclose or collect their money, perhaps this is why these filings were done, but it's just speculation. But that wasn't the only bankruptcy that was filed. There was another 600 of you in here at 5 o'clock. I appreciate you guys. Let me know you appreciate me. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you have not done so already. That would be great and greatly appreciated. Taylor, remember these were mentioned in the order for dismissal when I guess the attorney was like, oh yeah, we got some of these properties in bankruptcy. So there's a stay, so we're not going to put them on our pleading. Taylor Court Apartments LLC. This was filed also in August 2nd of 2023. And this is the single asset piece of real estate. Another chapter 11 was being filed. Well, this was filed July 25th of 2023 by Jennifer. Again, this is by Jennifer. And again, estimated number of creditors is 1 through 49. The estimated assets 1 million to 10 million, and the same estimated liabilities 1 million and 1 to 10 million. Then you also have, so this is Taylor Court Apartment, and they are alleging that Pride Funding and someone named Anthony are the creditors. That's who they named the creditors to be. So if you guys go back to this lawsuit right quick. Pride Funding, interesting, is also who they are suing in this lawsuit. And that's who they put in the bankruptcy. So, based on all of these properties, it looks like Pride Funding was the one that they went to that was giving them all of this money for a lot of these properties. And they tried to put theirs into a bankruptcy. But then it didn't stop there. So then, of course, the first one that I told you, it showed one creditor, which was Colony American Finance. Well, Colony American Finance, they filed something because they wanted their stay lifted. So they filed to try to get their stay lifted so that they can get whatever assets, because they basically allege that, let's get back up here. So this was a motion that they filed. Secure creditor Colony American Finance. They try to get the stay lifted, and their rationale, we're going to read why they feel like they should not be a part of the bankruptcy. They say Warehouse Real Estate Investments has filed a pro se bankruptcy petition entirely devoid of required schedules and financial statements. So that's another thing I noticed, that oftentimes these bankruptcies are filed. They're kind of, looks like it takes 5 minutes maybe to file. And it's under the law, as soon as you file it, there's a stay on everything. But what I've noticed is that oftentimes people don't really go through the whole process of bankruptcy. It's kind of like a band-aid for now. And then, they don't have all the required schedules. They don't show their bank statements. They don't satisfy all the requirements. They don't do any of that. They literally pay that over $1,000, file it or whatever, and it kind of just stops it for the moment. I've noticed that a lot on the cases we've been over on this channel. Outside of paying the filing fee, debtor has done absolutely nothing required of it under the bankruptcy rules. Regardless, the court has held that debtor must remain in bankruptcy and a Chapter 11 trustee be appointed in order to investigate general allegations of fraud on behalf of the debtor's principal and related entities. So they allowed it to stay in bankruptcy because they want to investigate what's going on with all these properties. As set forth below, stay relief in favor of Colony is appropriate. However, because the foreclosure sale of the debtor's property that secured the debtor owed to Colony occurred prior to the commencement of this case under the debtor's redemption period has since expired. Thus, the debtor no longer has an interest in the property that is the subject of Colony's motion, and under such circumstance, the law supports granting Colony relief from stay to complete the foreclosure sale that previously occurred. So basically, they're saying the property that we secured, it already been foreclosed. And it was foreclosed before you filed this. So you don't own the property anymore. So we don't understand why you even got our name in here on this bankruptcy filing that you're trying to do. So let's go to the statement of facts so we can learn what happened specifically with this loan. The loan transaction in default on June 30th of 2016. So this was a 2016 property. Colony American Finance Lender LLC, plaintiff's predecessor in interest and debtor entered into a $1,521,000 commercial mortgage loan transaction, the loan, and they have the declaration and the exhibits to secure its obligations owed under the note. Debtor executed and delivered to original lender that certain mortgage dated as of June 30th, 2016, pursuant to which debtor mortgaged to original lender certain real property known as Gunther Place. It's in Pasiac, New Jersey. And they listed different, of course, the mortgage includes a security agreement in favor of original lender, creating a security interest in certain property as more particularly described therein. The note, the mortgage, and all other documents executed in connection with or further securing the amount owed under the loan. Collectively, the loan documents were assigned to Colony. Debtor defaulted under the terms of the loan documents as a result of its own failure to pay amounts due and owing set forth the month of May 2018 and each month thereafter. So allegedly, he has not paid on this loan, or they have not paid on this loan since 2018. As a result, an event of default occurred and Colony elected to accelerate the debt due and on under the loan. As the petition date, debtor is owed over $1 million on the loan. The state court foreclosure action. As a result of debtor's default on the loan, Colony filed a complaint in foreclosure. On October 23rd, 2018, the Superior Court of New Jersey Chancery Division, after protracted litigation, so this was going on for a while, final judgment in foreclosure was entered on January 10th of 2023. So they entered a foreclosure in October 2018, and it was not entered until 2023, like earlier this year. So that is definitely protracted. Awarding Colony judgment in the amount of $969,317.28, and a writ of execution was issued. The foreclosure sale was held on June 6th of 2023, and the property sold to a third-party purchaser for $900,000. And the sheriff set the redemption amount at $1,037,560.97. After further briefing, the substance of which is irrelevant to the present motion, the court extended the redemption period so that such period would expire on August 5th. So basically, they had till August 5th to redeem this property that went into foreclosure. Instead of redeeming, debtor filed the instant bankruptcy petition on August 4th. So the day before the redemption, this bankruptcy was filed one day prior to the expiration of the redemption period. Then you go through the jurisdiction and the legal arguments and when it's the time to redeem and all of that. I'm not going to bore you with that. But yes, this is a motion that was filed, and I believe there is a hearing that's supposed to come up in sometime in November, maybe like the second week of November, to see if the stay can be lifted so they can continue the process of the foreclosure, so that the stay will be lifted off of their properties. Okay. But then it didn't stop there for Jennifer. It looks like she also filed her own personal bankruptcy earlier this year, a Chapter 13, I guess, trying to restructure. And again, now this is not in the name, this is in the name of herself. This is not in the name of any of the other entities. Again, a Chapter 13. And let me see what she's saying her debt is. I think it's pretty much the same. She's saying, how many creditors do you estimate that you owe? 1 through 49. How much do you estimate the assets to be worth? 1 million to 10 million. How much do you estimate your liabilities to be? 1 million to 10 million. So again, as you guys come in, hit the like. Looks like Caesar has five. Well, his wife looked like she must be like the owner or the agent. That's why she's getting sued on all these lawsuits of these LLCs. So she has filed bankruptcy on behalf of some of these LLCs. All Caesar and his wife and these LLCs are now claiming that they were also defrauded. And because they were also defrauded, they are owed some type of judgments as well. But then I also was perusing, and I heard some of you guys say that DJ Envy had actually sued Tony the Closer, but I never really read the lawsuit and I didn't know where it was at. And I know I heard about a cease and desist, and just because people give cease and desist doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get sued. But apparently, DJ Envy did file a defamation lawsuit against Tony the Closer, and he is he's alleging a lot of things in this defamation lawsuit. This was filed in August. He has not served. It doesn't look like he served Tony the Closer. You have, I think, 90 days. Is it 90 or 120 days in federal court? I can't remember, but it's coming up 3 months that it has not been served. And he said he sued for you see, Free Wi-Fi said, how can they claim fraud once they are found criminally liable enough to be raided by the FBI? I can't say this is. I cannot say this is the first time I saw this in the New York, New Jersey area, where they feel like they were the victims, and these people that are the alleged victims somehow they really are the victims. They find some way to flip it. So I've seen this before, and it's for the courts. I guess it's for the courts to decide. Again, that lawsuit was just filed, and today the order dismissing two of those entities because of bankruptcy was filed this morning. So it has not been served. It has not been served on the entity that they're claiming defrauded them. It's a lot going on. So DJ Envy filed a lawsuit against Tony the Closer, and that was filed back in August. It's Rashawn Casey, aka DJ Envy, against Anthony Robinson, aka Tony the Closer, ABC Corporation, 1 through 5. John Doe's and 1 through, I don't know. I guess anybody that was talking about them, I guess he was talking about them too. So I guess he talking about suing them too if he finds out. I don't know. But this whole defamation thing, a lot of this stuff seems real PR-ish to me. This is just my opinion. Because when I read this lawsuit, there were a lot of facts, and it was very minimal law. So there was a lot of facts in it, in my opinion. It was very, very long of facts. And basically everything that Tony the Closer has said about him, he has claimed it was defamatory. So thank you so much, Cupcake. I appreciate that. He has said it's defamatory. So I'm gonna get into a little bit of it, and then we'll probably do a whole separate live on this, unless you guys just want to hang on in there, because we've been on here for 39 minutes. So I guess we haven't been in here too long. DJ Envy and Caesar can't sue anyone regarding this. That will put them in the stand answering questions, and they are both going to be criminal defendants in another court case. Anita Williams, that's exactly what I mean, not exactly what you said, but that's partially what I was thinking as far as this defamation lawsuit. It would make absolutely no sense for him to put himself in a position to have to be deposed or be under oath when you are obviously a part of, whether you committed it, whether you did it unknowingly, unwittingly, there's an investigation going on. And if they went to iHeartRadio, like it's being reported, you're the one that work at iHeartRadio. So that means that if an investigation is occurring, it can be deduced that they are investigating into any potential improprieties on your part. Again, I'm not saying he has improprieties. I'm just saying that obviously he is a part of it as well as an investigation. But I thought it was very interesting because this pleading, and oftentimes when you have pleadings, as I tell the intellects all the time, there is a lot of shade in the pleadings. Things that you want to give little pot shots at the other side. It happens a lot in these pleadings. It can get a little messy in these pleadings. And that's what this is no different on what occurred in this defamation lawsuit. So they start out with the preliminary statement. In life, just as in business, reputation and integrity are amongst the most valuable things that we have. When someone's reputation is impunged, they could end up losing their name and goodwill forever. Certainly, their extent and future business prospects. One's livelihood and invariably damaged as a result. In this action, the defendant knowingly and intentionally spewed false, slanderous, and defamatory misinformation about the plaintiff, which has and continues to severely damage plaintiff. Defendant engaged in this wrongful conduct for the purpose of increasing traffic on his social media sites for his own personal gain in the form of paid advertisements. However, thankfully, the law protects against the spewers of falsified, malicious, and scandalous slander and defamation. As such, plaintiff brings this suit to enjoin defendant from making any further false, defamatory, or slanderous statements about plaintiff and for damages against defendant to recover the losses that plaintiff has sustained resulting from defendant's wrongful actions. So this is the nature of the action. So now we're going to get into what DJ Envy alleged in this lawsuit for those of you that have not seen it before. This case arises from the defendant's false, defamatory, slanderous, and malicious assertions that Mr. Casey is a quote thief, a quote criminal, and a quote scammer who has perpetrated or perpetuated, perpetuated a Ponzi scheme and stolen millions. And they put it in quote. Defendant has publicly and maliciously spread these false claims on his websites. And then they list the websites and through his sizable social media presence, including accounts on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Defendant's social media accounts have more than 125,000 subscribers on YouTube, 364,000 followers on Instagram, and 13,000 followers on Twitter. Defendant uses his social media and websites to market his real estate investing, quote, coaching business and other services, find clients, and generate publicity and commentary, all for his own greed-driven pecuniary benefit. Defendant is a prolific poster with tens of thousands of posts, comments, replies, hours of videos, and hundreds and thousands of engagements with potential customers and clients reaching all over the country, including but not limited to New Jersey. As part of his marketing strategy to drive engagement, increase views and followers, and to further his pecuniary interests by obtaining new customers for his real estate product, defendant frequently makes posts insulting, attacking, or arguing with other public figures. The Pina's alleged real estate scam. Cesar Pina and Jennifer Pina are New Jersey residents who apparently broadcast themselves to the public as motivational speakers and entrepreneurs in the real estate business focused on real estate development, investing, and flipping houses. You said apparently, like you don't know that's what they do. Much like defendant, interestingly, who claims to have gotten rich being in real estate, wholesaler who signs a contract or sale to purchase a property and then sells or assigns that contract to another buyer to make a profit. As part of their business model, it appears that the Pinas promote their business through social media, including websites. And then they list all their websites and makes appearances on radio and television shows such as Good Morning America, Billboard Magazine, and The Breakfast Club. Like, let's add that on there. Mr. Casey, known to his radio listeners as DJ Envy, is a well-known DJ, record producer, and radio personality, and a host of the radio show The Breakfast Club on Power 105.1 FM New York. The Breakfast Club has been on air since 2010, and the Breakfast Club's guests and attendees have included celebrities, sports figures, entrepreneurs, and thousands of other guests from all walks of life. Mr. Casey hosted the Pinas on the Breakfast Club, one of their many media appearances, and featured them several times on his own social media accounts on a few of his many interviews and discussions with guests and callers. Mr. Casey jointly held several educational seminars with the Pinas in 2018 and 2019. So you were hosting these seminars when allegedly they hadn't even paid on that property we just talked about then. Educating attendees about basic financial literacy and real estate investing concepts, and has attended at least 2 public events where the Pinas and many other individuals were present. The Pinas have now been accused of several lawsuits of defrauding investors in an apartment building development project and a real estate cryptocurrency investment. At least 2 of those lawsuits filed against the Pinas have also named Mr. Casey as a defendant and alleged without any specific factual or meritorious basis that Mr. Casey somehow, quote, promoted the Pinas' alleged fraud by jointly hosting real estate and financial literacy educational seminars or otherwise appearing at public events attended by the Pinas together with many other individuals and by hosting the Pinas on the Breakfast Club. How is that not a promotion, though? Does that not qualify as a promotion? Let me see something. You guys help me, let me know. Like, is that promoting when you have somebody on there and you tell them this is what you should? Maybe this is promote. Let me see. Let me see. Maybe this is a promotion. Let's see. Okay, that's if you call people and you ask them to come support, then typically that is considered, promote something. But hey, that's just my opinion. My opinion. Since the claims that Mr. Casey is in some way connected to the real estate transaction in which the Pinas are alleged to have run a fraudulent scam are without any basis in fact or law and are false, Mr. Casey has moved or will be moving to dismiss any complaints where he is named defendant in connection with such transactions. So he's saying any complaints that he has that these people are alleging that it's his fault, that he's the reason why they even invested, or that he had any knowledge, he will be filing a motion to dismiss. And so he wanted the court to know that, yeah, he's been accused of a lot of the same things that Tony the closer is saying. but we're going to try to dismiss the case. Upon information and belief, one of the reasons behind Mr. Casey's being added as an additional party defendant in this case involving the Pina's alleged real estate scam is because of defendant's false and malicious statements that Mr. Casey is the thief who played part in a Ponzi scheme. So he feels like, and he has upon information and belief, which basically means I don't know this for sure. I don't know if this is a fact, but if we are of the opinion that the reason why my client, DJ Envy, is a part of those lawsuits related to these alleged Ponzi schemes is because Tony the Closer and how he's been basically on his neck. In fact, contrary to the allegations asserted in the Barone v. Pina action filed in the Superior Court of New Jersey, the property ownership and company ownership documents publicly filed by two of those investors established that Mr. Casey never had any financial stake or involvement in those projects whatsoever, which fact has also been confirmed by the Pinas. So basically, what you're saying is just because his names are not on business documents, company documents where he's a principal member or whatever, that means that he has had nothing to do with anything. That's the proof. That's the evidence. Upon information and belief, defendant is a former car salesman and self-professed football player who now, much like the Pinas, who on their website claim to have relationships with individuals ranging from famous music artists and other public figures and investors, promotes his own claimed real estate investing successes and relationships with celebrities, such as the rapper Rick Ross, as a marketing tool to hawk various products, including real estate investment coaching and investment advice through his website and on his social media channels. So he's like putting him in the same boat as the Pinas. Defendant uses his website and social media platforms to sell self-promotional real estate coaching material under various names and through several different companies, including his Rona Proof Masterclass course, which sells between $197 and $19.97 online. Defendant promotes and endorses various products, blah, blah, blah. Defendant also claims that he is a former criminal, was in prison as a result of bad decision arising from addiction, presumably. See, now they just trying to throw stuff in. Presumably including his arrest for kidnapping and assaulting a woman, but he has found a new purpose in life by becoming a real estate investment guru who is now happy to sell investment advice to entry-level real estate investors also looking to change their situation. Defendant uses his social media accounts, which claim to have a combined total of more than 500,000 followers, to market his real estate investing, coaching business, and other services, find clients, and generate publicity and commentary to increase his exposure. To accomplish these goals, defendant posts prolifically with tens and thousands of posts, comments, replies, hours of live videos, dozens of pre-recorded videos on YouTube, and hundreds and thousands of engagement with potential customers and clients reaching all over the country, expressly included in New Jersey. Defendant frequently makes posts offering discounts or sales to the first followers or commenters to quickly comment on his posts and buy his real estate courses and for new followers. As part of his marketing strategy to drive engagement, increase views and followers, and obtain new customers for his real estate investment products, he frequently makes posts insulting, challenging, or arguing with media and sports figures who he tags in the post to get a reaction that will increase his own publicity. You see what I'm saying? Like it was 31 paragraphs almost just talking about, okay. Beginning on or about May 25th, 2023, defendant began posting about what he deemed a quote scam run by the Pinas, initially asserting in an Instagram live that the Pinas had been accused of scamming investors and that the Pinas were only famous because they had been promoted on Mr. Casey's radio show. During his first May 25th, 2023 live post regarding Mr. Casey, defendant was careful to state that these were allegations and claims by investors who claimed to be defrauded by the Pinas and not factual statements. So this is where he finally gets into when allegedly the defendant is defaming him. How significant is the audio Tony played when Envy and his wife admitted to him pleading guilty to grand larceny in college? I don't know anything about that, so I don't even know. Sorry, I can't answer your question, but I thank you so much for the super chat, DT Kenobi. I appreciate it. Defendant begins defaming Mr. Casey over Instagram. Later that day, on May 25th, 2023, in a second Instagram live post, defendant hosted Mr. Casey to discuss the allegations about the Pinas. And Mr. Casey explained to defendant and his viewers what real estate investing and financial literacy topics were discussed at the seminars hosted by the Pinas, including how to obtain an FHA loan, what real estate wholesaling is, what a mortgage is, performing due diligence prior to making a real estate purchase, and other educational topics. Hosts and guests were not allowed to solicit investments from attendees during these seminars. So they're saying at these seminars, they weren't able to solicit any type of investment. So they didn't make any deals at the seminars. Mr. Casey succinctly reiterated on the Instagram live that live post that not one person ever gave him any money to invest as a result of these seminars. No, he actually, well, maybe he did say that. I thought he said that he's never taken a dime from anybody or never made money from anybody, but I have to revisit that to see. Defendant then asked Mr. Casey, as a public figure, how do you feel your actions played a part? Referring to the Pinas using Mr. Casey's status as a public figure to gain attention. Mr. Casey responded with the truth, which is that he has always warned every single attendee of the seminar to, quote, do your homework and to never trust anybody with an investment without performing due diligence and verifying the legitimacy of that investment. Mr. Casey gave the analogy that if he had a business partnership with someone, ownership of barbershop, but that partner then committed criminal acts related to the barbershop business, he would have no way of knowing about that and would not be responsible for the partner's unrelated criminal activity, which are commonly referred to as supervening or intervening acts under the law. Actually, it's superseding or intervening, but that doesn't apply. But I got it. Defendant also asked whether Mr. Casey felt that he had any responsibility if any investor claimed that they only invested because, for example, he saw Mr. Pina together with Mr. Casey at the same office building. Mr. Casey reiterated that he never solicited any investments into the Pina's adventures. Why does he keep saying he never solicited anything? I don't understand that. Let me look at this real quick. Hold on. This is Tony to close his Instagram page. You know, you see he's been the whole day.
I first got into real estate, I called 3 people. I called Clue, I called Fabulous, I called Joe Budden. Right? My Desert Storm family. And I said, hey guys, I'm doing real estate. This is something that I think that, you know, you should invest a little bit of money in, try it out, and that way you can do it. Joe Budden told me it was a Ponzi scheme and I was going to go to jail.
Welcome back, everyone. A celebrity house flipper connected to well-known Breakfast Club host DJ Envy was arrested in connection to real estate fraud.
Yeah, DJ MV, now being nicknamed Real Estate Rico. This after many say the DJ influenced them to get into business with Cesar Pina in an alleged real estate Ponzi scheme. Now, Pina was just charged for running a fraudulent real estate company. Investors say he stole money from investors, promising the funds would be used to fix up multiple real estate ventures across New Jersey. But the money Pina and his wife received never went to those investments. While MV has been in business with Pina, he does not face any charges.
I don't support none of you criminal ass niggas. Let me find out you goddamn got fraud, nigga. I got the feds on speed dial, nigga. No cap.
Of his arrest, we were interviewing Jeff Robinson, who owns a food truck and car wash in Patterson.
My son, it's my world. And these people took advantage.
His son, Jeff Jr., tragically died in a car accident 6 months ago, leaving 2 children behind. Jeff Jr. had invested $325,000 with Pina in this Passaic property. The dad says Pina then went dark.
After I buried my son, I called Caesar. Oh, bro, I'm going to meet you. I have text correspondence with Caesar, text messages. Oh, I'm running a little behind. He never met me here. But my main concern is getting what's due to those children. It's not fair. The comfort would be when my grandkids are in position when they have trust accounts with that money that he owes those children.
Pina pleaded not guilty. He has to post a $1 million of his arrest.
I don't know. I'm just, yeah, I don't know. That just baffles me how that's even to like, I can see you're trying to distance yourself, but it just seems to make it seem like you have him on the Breakfast Club. It's all these videos of you saying, "We come join us. This is my partner." You have your name. It was on his website at one point. You guys are all in the office building. You have a video of you saying you called celebrities and asked them if they wanted to come in on it. How is that not promoting? You could say you weren't promoting the crime, the criminal aspect. You thought that you were helping them, but to make it seem like you just weren't I just can't get with that. I just don't agree with that. That's how I would interpret it. Maybe you guys interpret it in a different manner, but it definitely sounds like to me that you was promoting. So let's get back to it. Okay. Defendant was not getting the inflammatory reaction he hoped for to generate controversy. And so he then shifted to personally lodging ad hominem attacks against Mr. Casey, accusing him of manipulation and claiming that Mr. Casey was attacking defendant's business model by lumping him into the category of real estate gurus who make money by selling real estate investing courses that have no actual benefit. Of course, defendant does make money by pushing real estate investing courses for first-time real estate investors, and his courses do not appear to include any type of income disclosure from the customers who pay for them, instead focusing only on testimonials from a handful of individuals who claim to have made money. Conversely, at all relevant times, Mr. Casey's seminars had always stressed the importance of due diligence and skepticism about real estate investments, which seems too good to be true. A skeptical customer would likely wonder whether defendant's own business model seems too good to be true. Based on marketing to potential customers that they could earn $240K per year using only your phone. So basically, he's trying to say now, basically, Tony the Closer is on Pina's head saying this investment is too good to be true. But what he's saying, what Tony the Closer is saying to them sounds like someone can interpret that as being too good to be true. Mr. Casey ended the party's May 25th call by stating that he hoped that all investors who are owed money by the Pinas recover their money. So now defendant broadcasts an illegally obtained wiretap. So now they're accusing him of basically recording a conversation that he did not have the right to record. Upon information and belief, defendant then played a recording. Upon information and belief, again, not sure. Defendant then played a recording of a telephone call between himself and Mr. Casey, placed from Florida without Mr. Casey's knowledge or consent, to try to prove that Mr. Casey was somehow aware of the fraud allegedly conducted by the Pinas. Upon information and belief means you ain't sure. This illegal recording was obtained in violation of Florida statute because Florida is a two-party consent state, and Mr. Casey did not consent to his private telephone call being recorded in Florida or subsequently played on defendant's Instagram live post in Florida or New Jersey. Violating Florida statute is a third-degree felony. The illegal recording played by defendant simply reveals that Mr. Casey privately stated exactly the same thing. So you say like it was illegally recorded and talk about the recording. The illegally recorded playing by defendant simply reveals that Mr. Casey privately stated exactly the same thing that he publicly stated, that he had no involvement with any other Pina's real estate investments, which had allegedly defrauded investors, that he never accepted any other individual's money to invest in a single real estate investment, that he was worried that his own investment with Mr. Pina in a separate project, a conversion of a school into an apartment, was in jeopardy if these allegations were true, and that if the allegations against the Pinas turned out to be true, he would be furious and would be the first to call them out on his syndicated radio show. I think the first time he talked about it was like, what, last week or 2 weeks ago? Was the first time he actually talked about it and said he didn't know anything about it. Mr. Casey also opined on the call that if Mr. Pina had begun defrauding investors, it might be because he had a gambling addiction, the same problem defendant has admitted led to his own imprisonment and a foreclosure of his home. Mr. Casey also stated that he had spoken with Mr. Pina that day about the single investment made by Mr. Casey with Mr. Pina, the renovation of a vacant school located on Tawada Avenue in Patterson, New Jersey, and that he feared that Mr. Pina may have also defrauded him because the property was now facing a foreclosure action. I think that was one of the properties in this lawsuit too. Yep, 383 to 395 Totowa Avenue. No, I say 385 to 391. Maybe they're missing a couple of the let me see. So this is a part of the lawsuit that he filed, that Caesar filed, also included, you see this right here, the Totowa Avenue. Looks like it might be included on how he's saying he got as well, and he's trying to sue the funding company, saying that he got defrauded as well. Mr. Casey also stated that he had spoken with Mr. Pina that day about the single investment made. Yeah, okay. And he feared that he might have got to. So on part C, defendant maliciously defamed Mr. Casey to increase his social media followers and sell real estate courses. So this is what he's alleging, that basically Tony the Closer's purpose is to increase his social media following and to sell real estate courses. After defendant played the illegal recording of Mr. Casey's call with Mr. Robinson, defendant then proceeded to conclude his live posting by beginning to maliciously make false statements of fact about Mr. Casey, including the following. Quote, I never said Envy took a dime. I said Envy knew what was going on. I never said Envy stole $1, but I said he knew exactly what was going on and he didn't say a thing about it. From these statements, defendant clearly articulates to his hundreds of thousands of followers in New Jersey and across the country the false allegation that Mr. Casey was somehow aware of the alleged theft by the Pinas from their investors before the lawsuits against the Pinas were filed. At this point, defendant falsely claimed that Mr. Casey was aware of the Pina's alleged theft of investors' money, but was careful to not assert that Mr. Casey personally stole money from any investors. But over the next 2 months, as defendant's false statements drove increased engagement with his potential customer base on social media, he expanded the scope of his false statements and began falsely asserting that Mr. Casey had in fact scammed, stolen, and was facing a criminal RICO charge for the Pina's alleged theft. Immediately after the Instagram live post, the defendant posted on Twitter that DJ Envy got mad. I said his real estate seminars are trash. Defendant then tweeted on May 28th, I hate being questioned when I'm not doing shit wrong. Shit just offends the F out of me. On May 28th, defendant posted a video containing testimonials for his own real estate course products, comparing them to Mr. Casey and asserting that DJ Envy and Flippin' NJ got $1 million. Bet my real estate students are more successful and ain't been scammed. Defendant's social media presence grew as he continued to make posts about exposing scams, and he embarked on a personal vendetta to falsely label Mr. Casey as a thief and a scammer who had personally stolen investors' money. This became a common pattern across all of defendant's social media platforms over the coming months. He would persistently defame Mr. Casey, accuse him of criminal acts such as theft, state that he had committed fraud, and then generate thousands of reactions, comments, and views. And then he would shift, they're saying basically he would shift and promote his real estate classes after he would allegedly make these comments. So it goes on and on. On June 29, 2023, defendant posted an update list of Tony the Closer's top 10 scammer list on Twitter and Instagram, generating thousands of likes, more than 1,300 comments, and hundreds of thousands of views across both platforms. On July 10th, defendant posted on a Meta thread, social media platforms, they called me a clout chaser, but all this ish I was saying was true, and then reposted that message on his Instagram account. On July 12th, defendant posted on Facebook thread, social media platform, go back now and look at every scammer I called out and see which one I wasn't right about. I'll wait. On July 19th, defendant posted on Instagram about DJ Envy's and Caesar scam and alleged that Mr. Casey had stolen $750K in settlement funds from a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. On July 19th, defendant retweeted his Tony the Closer top 10 scammer, now featuring at the top spot DJ Envy and Flippin' NJ and Jenny Tips. The list was then posted on defendant's Instagram account the next day. Defendant posted a copy. So then, wait a minute. On or about July 20th, 2023, Mr. Casey's attorney served a cease and desist letter upon defendant demanding that he stop making these false and defamatory statements about Mr. Casey. Defendant posted a copy of the July 20 cease and desist on his social media and commented, looks like Envy gonna sue me. Defendant then doubled down on his claim that his defamatory statements regarding Mr. Casey were completely accurate, responding to a question about how the First Amendment would protect him against defamation claims by asking, where's the lie? That is kind of true. Truth is the defense to defamation. Truth or substantial truth. Now, they are public figures. So if you have some inclination, you can't do it with malice intent or malicious intent. This is very interesting. On July 26, 2023, defendant retweeted his Tony the Closer top 10 scammer, still featuring at the top DJ Envy and Flippin' NJ and Jenny Tips. Defendant then posted that tweet on Instagram, adding that his criminal list was being updated. This is going on and on and on. If you guys been following it, you guys probably know that it's going to go on and on and on. So I'm trying to give you guys a synopsis so you don't, go to sleep. Hold up. Nosy. I can't even spell that. But thank you so much for the super chat. DJ Envy is blaming the victims and in the same breath claiming to be one himself. Yeah, that's what it appears to be. But the wife, though, is very interesting because a lot of stuff appears to be in her name. And someone was asking me about, like, he mentioned other celebrities. And I was looking at her page. And she does have, like, did Snoop Dogg or anybody come out? Because she does have something with Snoop Dogg.
What up, though? This is Big Snoop Dogg. This is Team Genie right here, Yeah. Check it out. Now, what I want y'all to do, I want y'all to join her team, right? She got the strongest team in the real estate game. And she looking for people that know how to go get it like she go get it. Look here. I'm even on the team, too. So what you waiting on? Get in where you fit in and get it part of a team, man. Teamwork make a dream work. Come join us.
If you look on her Instagram, she has a few. I mean, he was probably one of the only ones that was really, like, straight up endorsing it. But she has pictures with, like, Drake. She has pictures with 50 Cent. This is them on the Breakfast Club. My focus is off, sorry. But yeah, interesting. Glenn just said, "Oh no, now Snoop in this too." Simon said, "Sounds like promotion to me." C. Patterson says Snoop is an alleged investor. Silverback Racing said the wife was on the news saying that Pena has all the answers. Her name is on a few of those companies. As if you just got here, her name is on a few of those companies where she filed bankruptcy, and that's why she's getting sued as well. The question of the day, you said, who is gonna flip? I would be really, really shocked if DJ Envy has not talked already. I said that in my community page. I would think, especially if he really is saying he was unassuming and he didn't know, he was more focused on his own investments and he wasn't paying attention to other people. My thing with DJ Envy was when he was on that call with that FaceTime, rather, I didn't see whatever call they're talking about in the defamation lawsuit. When he was on that Instagram live, he kept saying, I got all my money. And that was a problem for me because when he was on the Breakfast Club, he was basically saying, he's doing it for the community. So this was supposed to be his whole purpose, that he's doing it for the community. And if you're doing it for the community, see if I can pull him up. If you're allegedly if you're doing it for the community, then when you find out that there are allegations that the people that you're trying to do things for is allegedly being scammed, you're just going to do a little bit more to see, like, to try to find the truth in it. And he kind of was like, well, it ain't happened to me. I got all my money. And it was like, that's it. That's all you're going to say. But here's his when he kind of separates himself. Is this the one? I think that's it. Let me see. Oh, sorry.
So Caesar and myself did seminars. Now, the reason I did these seminars is because I wanted to uplift my community. I wanted to teach my community about real estate, things that I didn't know when I was first buying my first home. I wanted to teach our community about investing in generational wealth. So I did these seminars and brought industry professionals to all these seminars, whether it was real estate agents from different markets, contractors, conventional lenders, hard money lenders. I even brought auction.com to actually show people how to purchase houses online. That's what I wanted to do for my people. Now, Caesar, if he took money, I wasn't privy to it, nor did I even know. But I do understand how people feel if they did give him money, because I gave him a lot of money.
Jesus.
That I didn't see a dollar of return. But
if you watch the conversation with Tony the closer, he basically was saying that he made an investment, and that's the building that we talked about earlier, that now Caesar is suing the mortgage company or the loan servicer or loan company, saying that he got as well, and he's suing them for fraud, which is at the beginning of the video if you just got here. And yeah, so that's that. Wisdom's daughter said, I believe they were all in on it, including the wives. Anyway, y'all, maybe when we come back, we'll get to the other parts of this lawsuit, because I can't read this all day. It's quite lengthy, as you guys see, but the whole purpose, I really just came on to show you about the recently filed lawsuit that was filed earlier. So if you just got on here, please make sure that you hit the replay. Thank you for all of you guys that have came in to watch the show. We've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. Y'all know I don't ramble that long, so hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you hit that like button. Let me know if you enjoyed the show in the chat. Throw up your hearts if you enjoyed the show. And hopefully you are learning as I am learning, because I really wasn't even following this case at all. But it's actually very interesting. But this is why, because once I get into it, then I want to go and find all the lawsuits and then see what else is going on and see who is connected to who. Then I got to go on social media. It ends up being a whole lot of research we end up doing on the case. But he said, depends on who are his people. Sounds like his people were Franklin, Grantland, Hamilton, and Jackson. That was a good one, Linda. That was a good one. Oh my gosh. Does envy ever imply that what incentive he received besides helping the community? I haven't seen him say that at all. He's never, maybe he feels like because now they can get into bigger projects, because if you want a multi-million-dollar project, but you can only invest $500,000, if 10 of you guys invest, then perhaps you guys can come up with it. So maybe in his mind, he felt like he gets the benefit of getting into bigger projects that he would not have been able to do, but for all these investors coming in. I don't know what his incentive was. I just don't see. He also said that they did these seminars, and I guess they did them for free. I don't know if it continued to be for free or not. I don't know. I don't know if it continued to be for free, because somebody told me it was $100 and something. I heard information that it ended up being people were willing to pay $1,000, $2,000, whatever, unless he may have been alluding to other seminars when he said that. But he said on the Breakfast Club these seminars were free, and he just wanted to uplift his community. So that's why I said, based on that comment, my issue was when Tony the Closer came to you and said, hey, I've had XYZ come to me and say that they were duped out of their money. Why wouldn't you say, not, well, you need to put that man on the show and talk to him because it's his side, their side, and then it's three sides to the story. You know, it's like, no, why, if you're doing this for the community, why not err on the side of the community, especially when there's a laundry list? It's like 12, 13 lawsuits filed if you look his name up. So why not err on the side of the community that you're trying to uplift? Because but for you, the community wouldn't even know who he was. That's how a lot of people are saying. Caesar's social media following increased. I mean, there is evidence that he was increased and well known because of DJ Envy. That doesn't mean that he knew everything that was going on, that he knew all the people involved in the investments, that he knew all the money that went in. I'm not saying that. But you can't negate the fact that you are a part of why these people gave their money. And I think that's what's frustrating a lot of people. Take accountability. I didn't know it. You should have said, I ain't know. If I would have known it, then I would have been the first one to, what did he say? I would have been the first one there to basically put him on blast on the radio. But you didn't do it till October 11th, what we just played. And this is after 12, 13 lawsuits. Or was it was until you got sued too. And then all of a sudden it was the whole, well, I'm a victim as well. But you didn't say that at first. You were basically chalking it up to, when you invest, you do take a chance. Everybody knows there's no guarantee. That's why when somebody says, I'm going to guarantee you 30%, it sounds ludicrous. Nobody tells you there's a guarantee in any type of investment that you do. And in this case, that's what they were doing. Forever Cali Girl 89 Hayes said Envy never used the same platform to warn his community after he got for that 500K. I agree. That's why you don't get a pass from me. And it's not trying to bash them. Some people keep saying everybody want to go to jail. I don't want anybody to go to jail. Absolutely not. I don't want anybody. I do wrongful convictions for a living. I try to get people out of jail. I did defense work. I never did prosecution. But the whole thing is, how do you say, you come with this nice PR speech of, I did this because I love my community. But when your community came with tears in their eyes and said, I used my last $200,000. I lost everything. I felt like jumping off a bridge, or however they came and said in those lawsuits, because there's several of them. You just have to read them. What investigation did you do? Or did it take for the feds to come and talk to you for you to be like, oh, snap, this is the real deal. I might want to get it together. And now it's like you want to tell the community, I know, guys, I didn't know. It's that plausible deniability for me. The plausible deniability of you just, you see stuff, but not really. You know what I'm saying? You may have some little red flags, but you're like, hey, it ain't me. And you don't look into it. And that's not saying he actually knows. It's just saying, like, when these people earlier this year started filing these lawsuits, you were on this man's platform and you said, well, it didn't happen to me. I invested $500,000 or whatever the amount was, and I haven't seen the benefits of it yet. But I've actually had turnarounds in 30 days. Well, how you get turnarounds in 30 days when people were saying that they were promised turnarounds in 5 months and they didn't get $1? That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're going to say you're for the community, then be for the community. Like, get up there and say, you know what, my community, well, I asked him and he said no. Well, who do you know? Of course he's innocent until proven guilty, but who the hell do you know that just comes up and say, oh yeah, I just scammed everybody. I took everybody's money. That's what you was expecting? You was expecting him to say, I owe everybody, they all telling the truth? You couldn't have been expecting that. You should have just went out and did your own research. And since you did it for the community, the same way you had no problem soliciting the community or whatever you want to call it, or trying to uplift the community and get them into real estate, was the same way that you should have came to the same platform and said, listen, I effed up. I ain't know this cat. I thought he was a changed person. And I'm sorry if this happened to you. That's what my gripe is. All that other stuff is just, Alice said stuff like that makes people feel like they can't trust no one. Yeah, and nobody is saying that you have guarantee. We all know if you do stocks, if you do any trading, even your 401k, your IRAs, everything depends on the market. So you already know nothing is guaranteed. So nobody is saying that, but dang. I live in New Jersey and heard it all. New Jersey and New York I have seen some things I have never seen before. I feel like I live under a rock with some of the things that I've seen happen. If Envy never took any money, then he should not be blamed for Caesar. People need to do their own research when giving up that type of money. Use real estate attorneys before investing. Everybody, I get what you're saying to a degree. I do believe that people should do their own research. I do believe everybody can't afford attorneys or don't know attorneys. It may be their some people take equity out their houses for things like this. It's not like they just got 100,000 sitting in the bank. Some people borrow money and take loans. I think there's an assumption that they just have this money. So if you have someone who is saying, if I come to you, there's people that have followed me long enough that feel like I'm an integral person and I wouldn't stray them in the wrong direction. I'm telling you, like, don't even believe me or nobody else when it comes to that type of money. You need to do your own research. But there are some people that will take my word for it if I say, I just put $100,000 in this project and I already got 50,000 in 6 months. There's people that because of my integrity, or this is what DJ Envy said in his complaint, in his defamation complaint against Tony the Closer, he said, I have a reputation, integrity in the community. Those are the exact criteria, the exact characteristics that will make people believe what you say. So you're basically saying in this complaint that you had a stellar reputation. So your stellar reputation, because you know that you have the influence. You have to be careful with your influence as well. Because you know you have the influence, people are going to try to leech onto you and your influence. So I mean, I agree, but you can't say just because of how you would be that everyone, you can't see how they got. You think these people don't feel dumb enough? I'm sure that they wake up every day kicking themselves because they've given up hundreds of thousands of dollars with no return. Especially the people. It made no sense to me in that criminal complaint. The people that were victimized more than once. So they gave $200,000. They didn't see a return, but they still came back and gave some more money. Didn't see a return. Then they came back a third time. You know what I'm saying? Just still hoping eventually it's going to happen, because they're seeing it happen with DJ Envy, or they see it happen with Caesar, or they see it happen with Jane Doe next door. That's going to happen to me. Because the thing is, with a lot of these situations, some people do make money. I'm sure there's some people that can come forward and say, I invested with them and I actually got a couple of dollars. That's the allegation of what a Ponzi scheme is. Some people get paid and some people don't. So if I see my neighbor getting paid, then I'm just sitting back waiting for my turn. But anyway, I've been on the soapbox and I said I was getting off 15 minutes ago. Aunt Rico charges basically guilt by association. Any movement that you make that can be attributed to the ultimate goal is a RICO. That's what the Trump case is about in Georgia. There are people that have never met Donald Trump in their life, and they are a part of a case because someone approached them and said, hey, why don't you go talk to the sis next door and try to get her to lie under oath? But the whole point was to get him reelected. So you have a common plan. Your plan may not have been the exact same thing as the next person, but you all have one ultimate goal. Jackpot said Envy playing in our face. Yeah, I feel bad for those victims. I heard a few of their stories, especially the guy who passed away. Yes, very, very sad. And it happens, it happens a lot. It happens more than we know. It's just this one was put on blast. This one was put on social media. This was put in our face. And I hope as time goes on, we're going to learn way more. I'm sure Envy is gonna, he's probably gonna, if it goes to a trial stage, he'll probably testify, and we'll see what he knew, what he didn't know. If they took electronic devices, then we'll know if he was a part of any transactions with other people. Now there is video of him walking, what was it, like a housing complex or a block or some structure, with the people that were going to invest. Like they have videos of them all walking and they're all saying they're investors in this property. If I feel like DJ Envy is a smart guy, he has money, he I guess allegedly bought Mary J. Blige house. And DJ Envy does more things than just radio and invest. He does a plethora of things. He has a residency here in Detroit, where he did at one point, where he was coming to a club like every week or whatever, and hosting. So he does have a plethora of job streams of income. But if you're looking at him and you're like, you see the outward appearance of what people have, and you feel like they've made great financial decisions. So who do you want to take advice from? Someone who looks like they had great financial decisions. And that's not always going to feeling like, let me go to a financial advisor and pay them to double check. He said people in the community. Most people in the community don't have financial literacy. Most people that are in the community that he's talking about has never invested a dollar in their life. Most people that's in the community, who he's trying to uplift, they don't really know. They don't have the savviness, and they are the most vulnerable. You know what, Cupcake? I need you to stop. Yeah. Thank you, Aaliyah TV. I appreciate that. Pamela said, and I love your name, by the way. It's hard to believe DJ Envy gave this man a platform and free promotional time dollars without anything in return. Maybe he helped him, gave him advice on what to do, and didn't charge him. Sure, I don't know. I don't know. Andrew said, when I worked in the casino industry, I saw this every day. Desperation sets in at some point, and they see the only way to get their money back is to double down. Rationality is lost in such scenarios. Yeah. I hope, for everybody involved, but again, shout out to Tony the closer, because he was really the one that was on their head. And I think that people thought, I see people that's like in his comments, you're doing too much, you a clout chaser. But if you're an alleged victim of anything, wouldn't you want somebody to go hard for you? Regardless if you think I bet them people didn't think it was overboard that lost $1 million and $500,000. And it's just interesting to me because you have foreclosures on your properties. Like, how do you have foreclosures on? Like, he had a foreclosure in July on one of the properties, and I think that ended up being a part of the bankruptcy. It's 2 different properties that was foreclosed on this year. So these people are investing money in these properties, which to me feels like they should be paying them off, right? Isn't that what you're investing for? You guys all are coming in on this property, you fix them up, you flip them. That's why he's called Flipping NJ, right? Because you fix the properties and you flip them and you sell them. So if I bought a property for $100,000, I put $50,000 in it and I try to flip it for double, and then we split up the profit. That's what I thought the game was. So if that's the case, then how do you even have mortgages on these properties? So these people were giving you money thinking you guys are buying these properties outright, allegedly, and you got mortgages on them, which means they can go into foreclosure, which means once you don't use that money to pay for the properties, they're going into foreclosure. The red lipstick hustler Lily said Envy did business with Pina, over 5 years. He knew and shared his office space. He did acknowledge he shares office space with them. I don't know what else he did at the office, because like when I saw the videos, it seemed like they were promoting certain real estate classes or whatever was going on. It was a whole list of the things and it was like, join us, be our partners, do this and do that. It's like, that's why you got to be careful who you connect with and connect your name with, because then you become guilty by association. That can happen as well. And again, he may have thought, like I said, because it didn't happen to him, then perhaps, But anyway, guys, tomorrow, if you guys want to, we can go on over, because I didn't even plan on going over the defamation, but you see how long it is. So maybe we have to do a part 2 and go over the defamation lawsuit. And there's also a couple of foreclosure complaints that I have as well. So maybe we'll get into that. And Drea said, I just find it hard that Envy didn't know anything. So C. Patterson said he raised $5 million for a $220K property. Where's the rest of the money? That's what we want to know. Caesar, anybody? I know he's out on bonds. I don't know what his bond structure was. His bond structure, sometimes it's on your own recognizance. It was one count. Maybe they said $1 million bond, but he has to be on tether and on his own, but didn't have to put up money. Maybe he had to put up property. Wouldn't that be ironic? Maybe he had to put up property. Maybe it was a combination of both. Or maybe he had to put up all the money. I don't know how his structure was, but yeah. De'Ara said, Pam is so smart. Really? De'Ara, I'm sorry. I'm going to put an A at the end. She really breaks the law down. I hope I never go back to jail. But if I ever do, I want her and the rest of the Black YouTube representing me. We got you, but we don't want you to go back. We don't want you to go to jail. Stay out, stay out, stay out. We don't want that. Anyway, you guys, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Hopefully, we'll be back to do this again. If you haven't done so, you guys know what to do. You guys for all of the super chats that I got. To do this legal game again. I'll talk to you guys later.